In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to find your perfect aim sensitivity, and this method can work for Battlefield 2042 or any game you play, and you can also apply the method to those of you that use a controller. I'm going to be showing it for the keyboard and mouse, but follow along and you should be able to do this method as well. The first thing you need to do is go to your options and go to your keyboard and mouse and on foot and find your perfect field of view. This is really important. If you end up changing your field of view, you're going to have to repeat this entire method again because the field of view affects your sensitivity. Make sure you have ADS field of view on, that way you keep things consistent. And also, if you scroll all the way down here, ensure that you have uniform soldier aiming on. But what we're going to find is your soldier aim sensitivity because everything is based off of this. If you're using a controller, you're going to have to go to the controller setting, go to on foot and scroll on down and set those values the same, and also up here. Now, for those of you guys on PC, some of you have a fancy mouse like a Razer mouse or a Logitech or whatnot. You do need to go change some settings in here. For those of you guys that don't have a fancy mouse, that don't have the drivers installed, I'm going to be still showing you something that you need to change in Windows that is super important. So when you're in your mouse settings, you're going to want to go to set the polling rate to about 1000. This is really important to have the lowest input lag because this is the speed that it takes for the message to be sent to the PC and back. And also the DPI, it doesn't matter what you put it to, but a value between 400 to 3200 is the optimal area. Don't go any higher than that because if you go too high, your sensitivity becomes really fast. And then therefore in the game, you're going to have to put a lower sensitivity value, and some games don't go that low. So just find a DPI that works for you between 400 to 3200. Now, you'll also be able to see somewhere in your mouse options a way to turn off mouse accel. By doing this, it pops this up for me, and I'm going to be showing you how to find this in Windows, which is really simple. All you do is go to your search, type in mouse, and you'll get your first option is mouse settings. Open that up, and then you're going to want to go to additional mouse settings, and you'll get this option. Now in here, you're going to go to pointer options and turn off enhanced pointer precision. This is Windows mouse accel. You do not want this. This is very important that this is off. Okay, now with all of that out of the way, we're going to find the perfect sensitivity that works for you because keep in mind, everybody is different, uses different gears and has different muscle tones. So this needs to be done to find the sensitivity that's perfect for you. So we're going to head over to Battlefield Portal, go to host a game. It can be a custom experience or a official experience. It really doesn't matter, just as long as you have a password on since you're not bugging anybody, and just host the game. And then we're going to find the sensitivity within this. Okay, now that we're in the game, this allows us to test our hipfire sensitivity and find what works for you. Find a position where you can aim at. It doesn't matter where. You could use a headlight, you could use a sign. I'm going to use this sign here, and just some place where you feel comfortable and have enough room to move around so you can maintain on that target. Now that you figured that out, let's go to your options and go to where you have your sensitivity at. We're going to take the default value that's given to us from Battlefield. In this case, it's 20. It really doesn't matter what value you use. And we're going to be going to this website. Now, I've got the link to this website in the description for you guys to easily get to. But what we're going to do is we're going to put in the default starting sensitivity of 20. You can use whatever number you want. I'm going to use the default value that Battlefield has is 20. And you'll notice as soon as we put it in, we got a lower value and a higher value. What you're going to do is test out both lower and higher values. So let's start off with the lower value. We're going to go back to the game and we're going to put the value of 10 since that's what the website said. And then we're going to aim on target and we're going to move left and right, maintaining on target, and see how that feels. Now you have to test this out for a little bit just to see what feels comfortable for you, because there is a little bit of muscle adaptation to it all, and see how you feel about, you know, what value it spits for you here. Okay, so now that we tested this out a bit, we're going to go and we're going to test out the higher value. And from what the website said, it was 30. So let's rank that up to 30 and then go back in and we're going to test out again. How well does it feel for me to maintain on target? How well is it for me to hold that on the target? And you can see he's kind of jumping around. I'm not really having an easy time maintaining on target. So obviously I like the lower value of 10. So let's go back to the website. We said we like the lower value of 10 and we select lower and it spits out two new numbers. It goes on to iteration 2 as you see here, and two new numbers have spit out. So the lower value is 7.5 and higher value is 22.5. What you're gonna wanna do is obviously round this. So 7.5 would be an 8. So let's go test that out. Put it down to 8. And then see how well I feel about aiming on that target, moving backwards, moving forwards, left and right. I just want to be able to lock onto that target as best as possible and stay on that target. There's no right answer to this. This is just all what works for you, what feels best for you and your setup. So we tested out, you do want to test this out for a little bit because there might be a little bit of muscle adaptation since we're going through different sensitivity values. But we tested this out and the other value was 22.5. We round that up, that becomes 23. So put it to 23 and we test that out and see how well we feel about maintaining our aim on target. And in this case, I can already tell I like the higher value. So we're going to go back to the website and we're going to select higher. And it spits out 2 new numbers. And we're just going to keep repeating this. And for sake of argument, I don't want to waste your time and just show you what ends up happening when you get to the end. So you test out the lower and the higher and so on, all the way until you get to the very last iteration, which is iteration 7. And it spits out what's called the perfect sensitivity. It's 15.94. So in this case, it would be 16. So we're going to apply that new sensitivity in here of 16. And that's the number we're going to be playing with. And it's the best for maintaining on target and keeping a perfect aim. And it's also the best for like flicking from target to target and locking on, as you guys can see. And if you guys want, you can also take the perfect sensitivity that was spit out on this website, copy it, refresh the page, paste it, and repeat the process. And you're going to do this 3 times, taking the new perfect sensitivity that's spit out and put it back in and repeat it. And you'll notice every time you repeat this, the perfect sensitivity comes to be around the same value. Okay, so now that we found the perfect hipfire aiming sensitivity, you're going to want to see which value works best for you for your aim down sight sensitivity that you feel is best for flicking 2 targets while you aim down sight. You're going to go to the options, make sure you go down here to uniform soldier aiming, and you're going to want to test out 3 values here. There's only 3 different values. Don't play with any of these. Just go here, set it to 0 for your first value to test out. See if you like this, and just like flick from one target to the other. See if you like how that feels when you aim down sight. Then what you want to do is go back down, test 133, which is the default value of this uniform soldier aiming, and see if you like that better for flicking to target and aiming on target. And then you can also go on down and set this to 178. Those are your 3 values that work best for coefficient. See which one you like best for flicking on target to maintain your aim, and even do the straight aiming on sight, just aim down sight and just lock onto our target and see if you like it. This method is really quick to find because it's just for aiming down sight. Also try different zoom optics to see how you feel about it. You'll really feel it for the higher zooms. It slows down a lot when you go with the lower coefficient value, but test which one feels out best for you and use that value. And that's how you find your perfect hipfire and your zoom sensitivity. If you guys enjoyed this video, please do drop a like down below because that lets me know you guys enjoyed content like this, giving out tips and tricks. And if you want to see more tips and tricks on Battlefield, just let me know in the comments down below and I'll definitely be coming out with more of it.